Hello and welcome to the fourth night of Lot, the night of faith and freedom. Today is the 5th of December. We are going into the 6th of December, the night of 5th to 6th, as well as the day of the 6th of December are dedicated to Saint Nicholas in Christianity, but the perception of that particular night and day as having to do with fate, having to do with karma, and having to do with the freedom that we can achieve if we work with our light, with our darkness and shadows. If we know the law of cause and effect, then you will have a life better than you ever before thought possible. That tradition is even older than Christianity. It has been practiced by ancient Nordic people, ancient Celts, as well as ancient Slavs, and it has existed about 2,500 years or even earlier before our time. So welcome to that particular night of Lot or night of fate. These nights of Lot are also called the oracle nights, and they are in the silent time or in the Advent time, starting on the 24th of November and going till the 20th of December. There are 6 of those nights. 3 we celebrated already: Saint Catherine, Saint Andrew, and Saint Barbara. And now we are going into the 4th Holy Night, or Night of Fate. Actually, the Holy Nights are still to come. And then we have the 5th, the night of Saint Lucia, on the 12th to 13th of December, and the 6th night of Saint Thomas on the 20th to 21st of December. And I will also invite you to watch these. But first, let's dive into the amazing story of faith and freedom as exemplified by Saint Nicholas. By the way, I was just in the church here. It's the first time I go to this church. I live now in Heiligenhafen on the Baltic Sea. I always wanted to live at the ocean. And it turns out it's a Saint Nicholas church. And they have beautiful ships hanging in the church, like real windjammers, real big ships. And this is always a sign of protection for the sailors. And Saint Nicholas, of course, is a patron saint of protection for many. So let us look into his fascinating story. Nicholas of Myra was born between 270 after Christ and 286 after Christ. Historians are not sure. In Patara, a town in Lucia. According to tradition, he was ordained a priest at the age of 19 by his uncle Nicholas. He was also a Nicholas, and he was even a bishop, the Bishop of Myra. And then Nicholas became abbot of the monastery of Sion near Myra. Interesting thing, the first 3 saints we looked at, Saint Catherine, Saint Andrew, who was the first disciple of Jesus, and Saint Barbara, they were martyrs, and they were in the very beginning of Christianity. Here we see a man, Christianity is already halfway established. His uncle is even a bishop. But there comes the time of the persecution of the Christians. And also here he has his chance to prove the strength of his faith, because he was captured and tortured mercilessly during the persecution of the Christians in 310. He distributed his inherited fortune among the needy. He gave everything away. And when the dead Saint Nicholas was laid to rest, at his sarcophagus, at the head, there was a spring, a fountain with anointing oil springing up. And at his feet, another fountain of water. Now, You may know what anointing oils mean, essential oils mean. They have always been a symbol of creation, a symbol of well-being and being fully in not homeopathy, but homeostasis with the universe. So real well-being, real balance. And essential oils have been used for thousands of years. Now imagine this man, his corpse is laid to rest, and at his head springs a fountain of essential oils or anointing oils. At his feet, water. Now, water is the symbol of life, but also water is the symbol of consciousness, of awareness. You know, like I know, how quickening, how awakening pure water can be, how it can make us more conscious. And this is one of the principles of St. Nicholas. He awakened people to become more aware of their fate and their way to freedom. St. Nicholas stands for justice and self-determination. It means you decide, you can be self-empowered, or you can be a victim. You can hand over your authority to other people, basically choosing the way of a slave and not a free person. So justice and self-determination, what does it mean? We always earn what we sow. As you sow, so you shall reap. We always reap what we sow. So which seeds do we sow, and which kind of life do we have? That has to do with our choice. Do we choose freedom? Do we choose self-determination? Or do we choose following others? Freedom means following your own inner voice. And by the way, I hear you asking, what's this? What's beside you, Aditya? Let me show you for a moment. This is my newest favorite diffuser. It's called the Diamond diffuser. And well, now I just took it off. In this way, you can see the inner life of such a diffuser. I just activate it again. If I can, yeah, here it is. And this is the one with the most powerful performance I've ever seen. This is an amazing diffuser. You can choose 7 lights, and you have this massive diamond shape that you could put on top of it. And I love diffusers. I have one in every single room of my home. And this is the most powerful one. I'm really amazed about it. Available only this December. It's a special edition. Let's go back to St. Nicholas and the question, are you your own man? Are you your own woman? Or are you following what others tell you? So this has to do with how conscious are we? How much do we sow seeds of light? And also how often do we work rather unconsciously and follow our shadow or our darkness? You could see our light deeds and our darker deeds. And the deeds of light, they always bring you more freedom. And the unconscious deeds, the shadow, they make you always more dependent. They make you always more enslaved. Now, many people don't know that because they don't study the laws of light and darkness. Now, this is what St. Nicholas is all about. He's actually, and you may not know this because you live in East Asia, or you live in America, or you live in Australia, but we have a tradition in the Alpine region of Europe, parts of Austria, Switzerland, Germany, where St. Nicholas comes to the home and brings presents to the children and reads out of the book of fate to the children. And I remember when I was a little boy, this was going on for years. My parents, they always said, oh, now the Nikolaus is coming. Maybe the Krampus comes. Krampus, by the way, is the dark side. And this is St. Nicholas shows you duality, shows you darkness and light. And what does light bring you and what does darkness bring you? What does consciousness bring you? What does unconsciousness bring you? And as you see here in the second picture, the two figures often come together. And one is bringing you the karmic results of your dark deeds, and one is bringing you the karmic results of your deeds of light. And this is all written down in the Book of Fate, which St. Nicholas has. For me, it was amazing. As a child, of course, I didn't know. My parents told this guy, and he had it written down, but he could tell me things that happened in the last year. So, wow, how did he know? Oh, I did this good thing. I did that. Oh, no, he knows also this bad thing that I did. Oh, God. And this is a modern reenactment of what was done already back to 2,500 years ago. The people on that night, 5th to 6th of December, and on the 6th of December, were contemplating their deeds. What did I do good in this year? What did I do not so good in this year? How much light was there in my words, in my actions, in my thoughts, in my emotions? How much darkness was there in my thoughts, in my emotions, in my words, and in my deeds? So people really reflected. You can imagine they didn't have internet. They didn't have television. They didn't have cars. They were living somewhere, and maybe not even many people lived there. It was December, cold. They were living, and on that particular day, it was esteemed that this is the right time to think about what did we do in the year that has passed, in order to become aware how can we do better. And also by contemplating in this way, they also became more aware of the principle of cause and effect. Because it's we who create our own lives. That's why everyone has a different life. And what many people don't know, it's a sum total of all your thoughts, all your emotions, all your words, and all your deeds, plus your connections, inner connections, higher connections, or lower connections, darker connections. All that comes together, and we call it fate, or it can be freedom. He rescues those who have unjustly found themselves in an unfortunate situation. That's why he's the patron saint for many people, for example, sailors in the storm, and he shelters them, he protects them, he rescues them. His symbols are the crozier, that's the hermit's staff, a sign of authority, but also a sign of asceticism and being very disciplined. He also holds the Book of Fate, in which all the good and bad deeds are recorded. So St. Nicholas often asks the children, have you been good in the last year? Before he reads it to them. And the 3 apples, or the 3 gold balls, and they actually have become the balls that we hang on the Christmas tree. So the modern tradition of having glitzy balls hanging on the Christmas tree, this is the apples or the golden balls of St. Nicholas that is represented here. And there's many meanings in that. There is the meanings of which fruits of your action, golden fruits of your action or other fruits of the action. It's also a meaning of abundance, and that always things come your way. What you deserve will come your way. And also it has to do with a miracle that St. Nicholas performed, the donation of with gift, and which were later to become, as I said, ornaments of the Christmas tree. So St. Nicholas did many things for people because he lived in a state of abundance. He lived in a state of freedom. He didn't live for himself. He lived for others. He was really free to live for others. Not in a coerced way, not in a way like we see it nowadays, where some people have a kind of Mother Teresa complex, and basically are evading looking at themselves, if you get what I mean. You have to have finished with yourself. You have to be even with yourself. You have to be fully conscious. Only then you can fully start to live for others. Otherwise, you transport your problems into others. But this is a state that can be reached, and then you can be a real benefactor for mankind. The companion of Nicholas is Krampus in Bavaria, Austria, or Knecht Ruprecht in other parts of Germany, or the Zwarte Piet in the Netherlands and parts of Belgium. These figures probably go back to pre-Christian Roman Saturnalia. He looks like a Saturn, or Pan worship. Also Germanic roots, Odin and Sleipnir are such a couple, and perhaps also pre-Bavarian customs in the Alpine region, the Perchten. So I know it from my childhood in Salzburg. There were not just one campus, but many of them running around with their chains and with their whips and howling around. And it was really frightening, and it's part of the tradition. It actually represents, because then Nicholas comes, the bright one, the light one, and then all these demons, all these wild guys, they are subdued. So they represent the tamed, or also the projected evil par excellence. And this brings us to our own shadows. Do you look at your shadows, or do you suppress them and say, oh, nothing to see there? The problem is, if you don't integrate your shadow sides, if you only like to look at your bright sides, you are emasculating yourself, you are cutting off parts of your own energy. Let's say you are 70% good and 30% not so good, and you decide to suppress the shadowy sides of yourself, then that means you live from only 70% of your energy, because the other 30% you're cutting off. And this is why many people do not reach their full potential, because reaching your full potential is about integrating everything. And then, of course, darkness can be transformed. Shadow work can be done. You can use the light, but if you cut yourself off, or if you are judging yourself, judging others, you're also separating, then you will never live in the fullness of your power and your authority, and then you will never have freedom. People who judge, they are not free. And people who are being judged, they are not free. On St. Nicholas Day, 6th of December, you may become aware of your deeds, your light and your shadows, and contemplate what fate they will bring you. As you have heard in the last 3 editions of the Nights of Lot, one of the principal rituals or traditions is to go to a T-crossing in the forests. And this between sunset of the 5th of December in this case, and midnight of the 5th to the 6th of December. And then to just listen for half an hour. Now, if you do this in the Northern Hemisphere, it's December, it's winter, it's dark, you will be tested, your courage will be tested. And it's basically like gazing into the darkness. It's like confronting the shadow. It's part of the shadow work. And it's beautiful because you will feel or hear or see something that has meaning for you. Or you will fantasize something that your own subconscious or wishful thinking puts together. Or what many people experience when they stand for these 30 days at the crossroads. Something is downloaded into them, a new understanding, a new information, a new energy, or it's kind of a shift they experience, an upshift in energy for the coming holy nights and for the coming year. It means if you live close to a forest, I recommend you really do it. And if you live in the middle of the city, okay, you will probably not be able to do it. Now really stay there for 30 minutes, even if it's cold, even if you hear nothing, see nothing, and say, what am I doing here? Just wait. Let it impact your cellular consciousness. Let it impact your inner bodies. Because once you walk away, you will feel something has happened, even if you don't know what has happened. So how do you turn away after 30 minutes? You don't turn away and go back. You take the first 30 steps backward before you turn around, out of respect to that crossing, T-crossing of fate, where you have just spent 30 minutes to gather information, to gather initiation. It's an initiatic experience that you will have there. Now, if that is not your cup of tea, because it's cold and it takes courage and it's a dark forest and you don't wish to go out in the evening, then you can do oil rituals. And one is with balsam fir or grand fir. By the way, many people ask me, why have Young Living's balsam fir and grand fir been renamed? And in fact, before it was always balsam fir, and now they call it grand fir. Well, botanically, it has always been the grand fir, Abies grandis. But Gary Young, for historical reasons, used to call it the balsam fir. However, botanically more correct is the grand fir, Abies grandis, and this is why since 2019, 2020, the Personal Care Products Council approved the request to use the genus and species Abies grandis or Idaho grand fir for that particular oil. Now you see me already smelling from the bottle, and this is the #1 use. It's the classic aromatherapy use. You're inhaling for 3 to 5 minutes directly from the bottle. The fragrance of grand fir essential oil is uplifting and comforting to the mind. You immediately feel that, and brings peace to your emotions, especially during the Advent and Christmas season, which people so longed for in the time of the historic Saint Nicholas. Well, it was a totally different time. If you think 2,500 years ago, or even 500 years ago, people didn't have much. And people were already looking forward to these nights of fate, and then to the holy nights, to these 12 holy nights, or the 12th night, where they would have a lot of experience and where they would learn a lot about the new year. Nowadays, we don't have that. Most people are spending their life on looking at screens and being impressed by totally different emotions or informations, but not what the universe communicates to them. Back then, it was the universe that spoke to the people. It was nature that spoke to the people. It was the inner world that spoke to the people. And grand fir oil is one of the best oils. Why has it become the Christmas tree? Exactly because of this balsamic, energetic nature that it has. If you just breathe this oil of the fir, it transports you. Grand fir oil will ground the body and empower the mind. It will bring emotional balance to the mind and body by aligning the sacral and heart chakras. It is good for those who get out of balance emotionally very easily and then go out of body or out of shape. You may know such people. Just having this grand fir oil in the diffuser or inhaling it directly from the bottle will bring you into your center, will calm you. It also gives you a nurturing, warming energy for your heart. So I like to not only apply it to the heart chakra in the center of the chest and to the sacral plexus chakra below the navel, the second chakra, and the fourth chakra. They are being balanced by the grand fir. Grand fir uplifts you and aligns you energetically. But I apply it really all over my chest because it gives such a warm centering feeling, and you really feel safe to follow your heart. This is about living your own life, living your freedom, and not being a slave of somebody else. Follow your heart. It is safe to follow the promptings of your heart when you are following or being inspired by the scent of the grandfir. You will feel that. Versus allowing your head to dictate your every move. Many people, if they are not influenced or turned around, twisted around by the outside, by others, then it's their head. It's their thoughts which constantly put them this way, that way, especially the judgmentalness of our thoughts. And they make you feel bad. They judge you. Or these thoughts judge other people and make other people feel bad. Now remember, this is the night of fate. And fate has to do with the karmic principle. Fate has to do with as you sow, so you shall reap. Fate has to do with the golden rule that Jesus spoke about. Do to others as you would like to have done unto yourselves. And do not do to others what you do not wish to have done to you. So that means, in essence, do good. Do good, do good. That's the golden rule. And if you're head-centered and you become judgmental, it makes it much harder to do good, to sow the right seeds, the seeds of light. So following the heart and really using this magnificent oil for your chest and your heart chakra will help you tremendously to follow the good path and to follow your good heart. Then we have a second oil that I recommend you, and that is the gift. And the gift is a blend of 7 ancient oils, among them the balsam fir or grand fir. So we spoke about it just a moment before. The black spruce, sacred frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, vetiver, and cistus or rose of Sharon. Now most of these are biblical oils. Sacred frankincense from Oman is supposed to be the frankincense that Jesus himself used. Myrrh has always been associated to God, the Mother. Cistus is the rose of Sharon. It's a scent of prophecy. It's a scent also of understanding your own inner truth, following your own inner truth from your heart. Jasmine, in order to cleanse your heart and to experience what is inside your heart. In India, for example, jasmine has been called the purity flower because you can only see good with your heart. As the little princess, you can only see good with the heart. But what if your heart is covered? What if your heart has layers on it? And this is why jasmine is such an important oil. And then we have vetiver, and vetiver is an amazing giant grass. It grows up to 2 meters, but it has roots that go 2.5 meters into the ground. It's the only plant species that grows deeper than above the earth. So it has tremendous grounding power. It really gives you standing power. And then, of course, the balsam fir or giant fir or grand fir and the black spruce. The fir and the spruce, they are slightly different. For example, the grand fir or the firs in general, they have a deep root, whereas the spruces, they have a more superficial root. This is why when the wind is too strong, firs are, for example, uprooted. However, fir will never be uprooted. It breaks if the wind is too strong. So you wish to have a combination of the energy of the fir and the spruce. And this is here. It's actually a recipe from the second book of Moses. Exodus 2, the second book of Moses, is the other recipe. The oil is called Exodus 2. This one, the gift, is the second one. It's amazing that you find in the Old Testament of the Bible complete oil recipes. And this one has been used for centuries for the calming properties. This plant helps strengthening your spiritual connections and promotes the feeling of centeredness and well-being. its calming properties help to soothe emotions and boost your self-confidence. And now, this is the big one about the gift. Have you ever been offered a gift, or somebody wishes to give you something and you said, "Oh no, I cannot accept this. Oh no, this is too much"? If you did that, if you could not accept what someone else wished to give you, that had to do with your feeling of self-worth. That had to do with your self-confidence. And this is a big, big theme for many people. Your self-worth calibration, basically decides about the quality of your life. Because if you feel you're not worth it, it will either not come to you, or even if it comes to you, you will not accept it because you feel you are not worth it. And this is the amazing thing about that particular oil blend. It really boosts your feeling, or helps you to become more aware of your self-worth, and it boosts your self-confidence. The gift is a reminder not only of the gifts that Saint Nicholas brought, but of the one great gift, the gift of freedom through the knowledge of good and evil deeds. With other words, the knowledge of cause and effect. If you understand this and follow this, remember the golden rule: do good, do to others what you wish to have done unto yourselves, and do not do to others what you do not wish to have done unto yourselves. That brings you freedom. The gift of freedom through the knowledge of good and evil deeds, cause and effect. The individual oils support the spiritual process of realization of consciousness, even God realization, which leads to finding a higher destiny than was previously possible. So self-worthiness and God-worthiness go together. If you're spiritual and you say, "Oh, I wish to come closer to God," you know what holds you back? Your feeling of unworthiness. So even in terms of the highest achievement, the highest realization, it's important for you to have more self-worth and more self-confidence, to be sure God will love you, God will accept you. And this particular oil blend will help you tremendously. You can use it on all the 7 chakras. So not only is it a great oil for the diffuser, I've put it in the diffuser, I'm just enjoying it all the time. You can smell it aromatically from the bottle, but you activate it 1, 2, 3 clockwise, apply it on your crown, third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral plexus, and your perineum, or also tailbone, your 7 chakras. Then you just sit and take it all in. Let yourself be gifted. Sit for a few minutes and just feel the gift coming into you. Take it all in. Hold nothing back. Let it all come. And the smell is so wonderful. If you know that blend, you know what I'm talking about. If not, get that oil blend as soon as possible. By the way, I will include a link in the videos. Some people have asked me, how do I get the oils? Well, I will include a link how you can order these oils. Because it would be a pity if you like to do this, if you like to have these experiences, you don't get the possibility to get the oils. Okay, so let me have a look. We have a few more important informations for you. From 21st of December 2024 till 6th of January 2025 will be again the 12th tide, or the so-called 12 essential holy nights. That means the old holy nights tradition from Europe, which is thousands of years old, combined with the use of essential oils. Why? Because essential oils contain aromatic particles, ethereal particles, And ether particles have always been regarded the quintessence or the fifth element. Socrates and Plato spoke already about the world of ideas. So to bring something new in the world, you need an idea, a higher idea, a divine idea from the world of ideas. And then you think it and you visualize it and you feel it and you emotionalize it. But in order to manifest it in the world of the four elements, in the world of water, earth, wind, and fire, you first need the fifth element, the ether element or akasha. And you have very few sources of ether particles in the whole world. And interestingly enough, essential oils are full of ethereal particles. So you have here the ideal support for all your manifestation projects. I've been offering these essential holy nights for the last 7 years, and just a year or two later, I started to offer the essential holy night year because people ask me, Aditya, this is like a program that has impact on all the 12 months of the year, and we like to manifest what we visualized in the actual 12 holy nights or 12th night. And then I expanded the program to essential holy nights year from 7th of January 2025 till 20th of December 2025. Why is this especially poignant now? 2025 will be a year we will never forget. 2025 will be a year outstanding in our memory, and it will be full of huge changes. And we all decide which changes we bring. So this signs and portents, but also this knowledge how to manifest the new reality that you wish to manifest, that is perfectly fitting. If you want to start this tradition, if you're not already doing it in one of my over 500 members, if you are already doing it and you are in your third year or fourth year or fifth year or sixth year, if you want to start it, 2025 is a perfect time because it will be also a challenging year. Here you have the link. So you click on the link and you come to this page. And on this page, you will have 3 packages. One package is only the 12 holy nights. The other package is the 12 holy nights plus the whole year. And the third package is the holy nights, the whole essential holy nights here, plus personal coachings with me 4 times an hour in winter, spring, summer, and autumn. That will uplift. I have a number of participants also in these consultings, coachings, mentorings for the whole year, and that will bring your experience even to a higher level. So the 6 nights of Lot are a preparation of the 12 essential holy nights. They are oracle nights, nights of fate. You can either go out in the forest and have an amazing experience, or you can do these practices that we talked about today with the Grandfir and the Gift oil blend, and thinking about darkness and light, your bright deeds and your shadow that needs to be integrated. What cause and effect do they have? And where do you wish to be in your life? Do you wish to have an undecided fate or an unknown fate? Or do you wish to go into freedom? This is the 4th holy night, the 4th night of Lot, in fact, fate and freedom. Use this night, use the whole of the 6th of December. It's still the energy of St. Nicholas. And I see you again, 12th, 13th of December for the night of St. Lucia, where you go even deeper into the theme of darkness and light. And the 6th night of Lot, the night of St. Thomas, 20th to 21st of December, the end and the beginning. See you, and blessings to you, and enjoy your experience in the forest with the oils and in the contemplation on your darkness and light, cause and effect, fate and freedom. See you soon.